Why is it important to travel? Why is it important to travel? I'm going to check in with all the people that joined, and in a couple of seconds, we'll get started with this. So I see Bill's on here. Bill, my God, already a super chatter. Thank you so much. Super chat money goes directly to children that don't have their biological parents. So orphans, foster, kinship. And Bill, you're just too much. I love and appreciate you so much. Craig, Mary, nice to see you. John, Arthur, Dustin. Yes, man, I get to see you guys in Nashville. That's going to be amazing. Melody, Dustin, Lisa Marie, Eric, Verne's already, I believe, in Tennessee. Hi, Mike. Hi, Scott. Great to see you. Hi, Sandy, Dave, Lisa Marie. So cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Robert Hollis. I hope you're having a wonderful and blessed day. And why it's important to travel. Why it's important to travel. And when I thought about doing this will really crack you guys up. Do you realize virtually anything in life is exactly the same? See, we try to make stuff harder. We try to make stuff easy. We try some safe we understand. What do I mean by that? Do you realize, again, the three groups? We know the three groups, right? So you first got the clueless, right? The clueless. And it's okay to be clueless. That means that you don't know that you don't know. You don't even know what you don't know. And here's the other one. Majority of those people don't care. My wife's always got this statement. Sometimes I bring it up to her and I go, "What do you think about this?" And she goes, "I don't." I don't think about that. So a lot of us, including me, are in that category on certain things, right? So if someone said, I don't know, hey, do you know how to shingle a doghouse in Australia? How much does that cost? I don't know. I don't know. I don't care to know. I don't think I need to know. So now we go to the other two groups, right? Now it's funny. Got that one group, right? That one group that is aware of travel. They look at travel. They're just not going to travel. I think it's so hilarious that, in everything in life, whether you were thinking about trying a product or you were thinking about being an entrepreneur, maybe you want to build a YouTube channel, maybe you want to become a super affiliate, make millions and millions and millions of dollars. See, there's a group out there that know about stuff, but they're really not open-minded. And, my father-in-law, I just think he was one of the coolest people in the world. His name is Sam, Terry's father. And, he was in the war. And so, I know that he'd been on ships and stuff, and he'd been in a lot of places. So when he came back to America, I mean, he's not traveling nowhere. I ain't going anywhere. You know what I mean? So how many of you people know people that not only do they say they're not going anywhere, but now what they have is a bunch of negativity about it. It's like, you can't travel there, you can't do this. What about that? So they find every excuse and reason in the world to not do travel. They're just not gonna travel, right? And so now you got the other group, right? These are people that love travel and they understand what I'm about ready to talk about. And so don't you think it's funny as I'm talking about this video? So if you're talking about business opportunities, being an affiliate, learning how to market online, learning to build a YouTube channel, whatever it is, their thoughts are, wow, that would be cool. I'd like to make some extra money. I'd like freedom. I'd like to be able to make an abundance in money so I can give to those that I love. And I'd like to do things. So there's this group of people, they want to travel. Oh my God, they want to travel. They're just not willing to do the things they need to do to travel. So I can remember like it was yesterday when I first got involved 36 years ago, getting involved in this industry. I had already just left, Williston where I grew up. I spent a few years in Billings, Montana, where I met Terry, my beautiful wife. We've been together for 40 years. And then immediately I wanted to move to California. And so I wanted to move to California because I just heard so much about California. Do you realize there's still people all over the world that's like, I've heard so many negative things about California. I'd never go there. You know what I mean? And I'm just going like, wow, I could take you to some places in California where you would go, wow, 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 wow. All right. So now all of a sudden I'm in this industry and I'm traveling. The first time I went to Canada, hey, some people won't get a passport ever, but then the goal is to fill up your passport, right? So as I go through here, you guys have probably seen, some of you seen me do this before. So the goal is to fill up your passport, right? And it's fun when you go through your passport and then you find out that one time I went to 10 countries in 10 days. So I went to Peru and Argentina and El Salvador and Ecuador and Colombia and Mexico. I know I'm missing a bunch, but anyway, it's like, it's really, really difficult to explain to people, why they need to travel, because it's one of those things that if you don't know that you don't know, right? If you don't know that you don't know, well, then how do you know? So for me, travel has done a number of things. First of all, just totally blew away my perspective of everything. I wish that people in the United States would be forced. I think children should be forced. It should be mandatory that you go to countries just so you can get a perspective of how great you have it. Man, when you realize that a majority of the world survives on less than $2 a day, that's $60 a month. And so when I started traveling and got to go to Asia and, Philippines and Thailand, China, trying to think where else, Malaysia, when I started traveling and seeing the way other people lived, I'm like, I will never, ever, ever, ever complain again about the United States. Zero. And the people that haven't been to those countries, whether they're Europe, whether it's Africa, whether it's Asia, every continent out there, South America, it's like people will constantly say to you, well, you know what? Especially the young people. It's like, listen, every country is better than us. Me and Matthew and Kyle used to go back and forth with this all the time, and they would say, oh my God, these other countries, they're so much better and they're so much greater and they're so much more awesome and the quality of life. And why can't we do that? I'm going, listen, you need to travel there and meet the locals there and say, you know what? This is what I heard. I heard this is the best country in the world, and get their opinion of their country. It's like, man, I'm telling you what. So first thing that I got in visiting other countries is not only how grateful I was to be, live here in the United States and just really, truly have freedom. Because I'll give you a couple of thoughts. One time I just said, golly, I see this whole area, me and Terry went to Panama and it was just crazy where we're like, wow, look at all these little shacks and stuff. It's like, even if you're on the border of the United States and Mexico, and you can look across the border and just go, wow, wow. And Matt brought this up, in our podcast, our last podcast. And one of the things that people don't realize is the reason that they don't live in nice places is because they don't feel any ownership. They don't own that land. They don't own the business that it sets on. So at any time, the government can just take it back. Can you imagine that? And so, wow, so they don't really make it nice because at any moment, the government can just kick them out because they own the property and they just say, listen, you got to go. And so, not having ownership of anything is just like, wow, that changes your attitude a little bit. And another one that just really, really, really crushed my heart is a personal story of mine. We got caught up on a flight, and I had 758,000 people in my organization. And get this, we're doing over $40 million a month in volume in my organization. And with that company, we did billions in volume. And so there was a flight that got delayed, and I'll never forget it. It was El Salvador, and all of a sudden, what we did is we flew in, and it was late. Oh my God, it was like two in the morning, right? And we get off the plane, we're exhausted. I think we had to sit on one airplane for like 4 hours. You got all these horror stories, but no one talks about the positive stories, right? And oh, by the way, there was a 4 million flights that everything was on time, it was perfect, and people got to their location, and everyone's safe. No, it's that one flight that almost hit a flight. It's like, oh my God. And so the one thing that was amazing is we got there at 2 in the morning, and I was just, oh, we were just tired, and we're getting our bags and we're starting to walk down this hallway, and I could hear all these voices, and I could hear everyone cheering. And I came around came around the corner, and there was like 100 people there, all holding up signs saying, we love you, Robert. And I'm going like, what? I think our flight was supposed to land like at 7 o'clock at night, dinner time. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 6 hours. People waited for me to get off the airplane to welcome me to their country and their city. Because when an average person, makes, less than $200 a month US, and all of a sudden you can get them to make $400. $400. It's you change their family tree. So all of a sudden there's people all over the world that I've helped that they were the first person in their family to buy a new car. They were the first person in generations to buy a home. And they hire every one of their family members, and it's like, how much do you make a month? I make 200. I'm going to pay you 250, and you come work for me. And so right now, where I'm seeing all this stuff happening in Nigeria, I've never been in Nigeria. And right now, those guys are pushing like crazy because I told them if they did 25,000 in volume in a calendar month, that I was coming to spend some time with them in Nigeria. That's exactly what I did when I opened up Budapest, Hungary. And now that group is all over Europe. It's crazy, and there's just a different perspective. There's a lot of people that, here's when you're free, right? Listen to this. I love doing this. So every one of you that listen to this live or recorded, listen closely. Can you imagine, just imagine that I said to you, guess what? I will pay first class for you and 4 other people. Let's make 5. 5. You and 5 other people, and I will pay for everything. I'll pay for the first class air flight tickets. I will pay for transportation. I will pay for 5-star resort or hotel. I'll pay for all your meals. There's only one problem. You have to vacation for 2 weeks. Now, that's what everybody gets. You need to vacation for a month. You need to plan a vacation for a month. And when someone's willing to do that for you, and your first thought is, I can't get off work. Yeah, that's freedom. I can't get off work. I don't have the money to pay for people to watch my pets or my kids. All of a sudden you come up with all these excuses, even though somebody was paying for it. So we always talk about money doesn't make you happiness, but neither does poverty. So what really, really is neat is every person that I've ever met, I've always said to them, if you could go anywhere, where would you go? If you could go anywhere, where would you go? And people go, I've always wanted to go to Greece. My youngest son wants to go to Japan. I haven't been to Japan yet. And so, did you hear yet? And it's like, so we just got back. So at the beginning of the year, already this year, I went to Budapest, Hungary. We had an event there, I believe, in January. And then there was a mastermind. I went to Cancun, beautiful resort. MDC paid for everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, MDC. Oh, I never even covered that. Can you imagine doing something that you should be doing to make enough money to not work for anybody, have freedom, and be able to share that with other people that you love? Go on all these excursions you've always thought about. My wife and I went on one of our favorite trips was Hawaii. The company that we were working with was called Pro Travel Network. And so we were the top distributor with that company. There's that trophy right there. And you see all the rings, you guys sitting on top of it. A lot of people probably don't see those. But um we got a suite on a cruise ship in the front, and it had a balcony and everything. It was crazy. And so the suite was amazing, but it was like a what do they call it? A lifestyle cruise. So we took off, flew to Honolulu, and then from there we went to the island of Hawaii. See, a lot of people don't know, Honolulu is on Ojai, I believe. So Hawaii is where the volcano is. So then we went to the volcano, then we went to Kauai, then we went to Maui, and we would go there one day, stay there for a day so you could do all kinds of excursions. So we got on RVs and went to where they filmed Jurassic Parks, and I stood in the waterfalls. Those pictures are on social media someplace. And then we got in Jeeps and drove all over the place in Maui and went to, where North Shore is and seen the big waves. And then we went to Hawaii and got helicopters, and we took the helicopters all over the volcano so you could see all the volcano. Then we went to Maui, and we actually went scuba diving on Crescent Island. It's supposed to be one of the most incredible. It looks like the most natural aquarium you've ever seen, but it's a crescent like the moon. And so all the water hits on one side. So it's all just, it's just amazing. And the company that I work for, we did enough volume where they pay for everything. The excursions, they pay for everything. And so yeah, I just wanted to get on here and say, you know, just like everything else in life, there's the clueless group. Unfortunately, that is very, very, very huge. I always use a third, right? And then you got the other group that know about it and will constantly whine and complain about it. Oh my God. Well, how many millions of people travel all over the world, and they got to tell you about, a couple of people that went to a place and then got killed. You know what I mean? Oh my God, this couple woke up and died. And you're just like going, There's literally hundreds of millions of people traveling every day, all day. No, we gotta Arthur, you're talking about the crib video. Yeah, that was a great video. And so, and again, then you got the group that say, I want to travel. My dreams are to travel. And now you got to figure out why. So in that last group, there's the two groups: people that travel, they travel all the time. They're consistently traveling, living the life that they've always loved. Terry and I and the boys, Matthew and Kyle and Robert Jr., there was one time with Pro Travel where we were traveling so much that people really got tired of traveling. It's like, hey, we were in this country or Punta Cana, and I'm just total loss of how many countries I've been in. I should, do that, but hey, it doesn't matter. So anyway, I love and appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to do my best to still do the video at the same time while I'm in Nashville. But if I'm in a event, I won't. So you're going to have to watch YouTube. But when I decide to do it, I'll be the first time I'm doing them off my cell phone. I'm excited about that. And I just love and appreciate each and every one of you. So traveling to Nashville, if any one of you know some places we need to go to, found out today that the Country Museum is attached to the place that we're staying, the Omni Hotel. So we're going to meet with some friends. Terry and I have some old friends from the past that are going to be there. And I just love and appreciate each and every one of you. If a lot of people, you become who you hang around. If you hang around a lot of people that are saying that travel's not fun and that bad things happen and it's not safe, they're probably the same people that are telling you that making income on YouTube is not a good way to make money, and getting involved in a home-based business and being an entrepreneur or becoming affiliate. It's like, yeah, that's not a good deal either. So my goal has never been be complacent, be lazy, be a conformist, do what everybody else does, and just barely get by. The biggest goal in life is to see how fast I can get my sons out of the house so they can get a job and live on their own. But to each their own, right? To each their own. So if no one's giving you permission to dream, to build a vision where you're traveling the beaches of the world, the mountains of the world, the jungles of the world, let me give that to you. Get around people that figure out ways to get to the events instead of figuring out all the reasons why they can't. Number one is money. Number two is freedom. So I think it's pretty important. So do me a huge personal favor. Share this video with people that need to think a different way about travel. And I believe in you and I love you and appreciate you. Have a great day.